Welcome to An Elegant Weapon. My name is J.M. Clark, and this is the History of Toy Lightsabers. With the help of my rather extensive toy lightsaber collection, I like to share a little bit of the lore about these lightsabers and the characters behind them. Now, I've been sharing snippets of my collection in the form of shorts for a while now, so please check those out. But I thought it'd be fun to start a longer form series where we can delve a little bit deeper into these lightsabers and the lore behind them. So on this, the first installment of this series, I'm going to give you a general overview of the entire history of toy lightsabers. Our story begins, unofficially, in 1977, with the release of the infamous bootleg lightsaber, the Force Beam. This lightsaber toy was not an officially licensed product, but somehow it found its way onto the shelves before anything official did. I'm always keeping my eye out for a good deal on this lightsaber because I would love to add it to my collection. Our story officially begins in 1978 with this, the 1978 Kenner inflatable lightsaber. This lightsaber was simply a flashlight with an inflatable yellow blade that could be placed into the top here. Now, as you can see, I am missing that inflatable blade. As you can imagine, inflatable products like balloons and beach balls don't exactly last 50 years. So they are quite rare, but please, before you flood my inbox with eBay links, I do know that they are available. I just tend to be choosy. I'll find the right one. Now, the blade was most likely yellow because it was probably based on the original Ralph McQuarrie lightsaber concept art. It was quite often that Star Wars toys were being produced before the release of the films. This would also account for the original telescoping lightsaber Luke Skywalker action figure having a yellow lightsaber as well. The next officially licensed Star Wars lightsaber to be released was a Japanese exclusive. It was the Takara lightsaber. This was the first official lightsaber toy with a hard plastic blade. This was also the first official color-changing lightsaber, as it came with little discs that, when inserted into the hilt, caused the light to shine through different colors. I've yet to own this one because, well, it's kinda pricey. The next steps in toy lightsaber evolution occurred in 1981 and 1983 with the release of Kenner's The Force lightsabers. The hilts were hollow, and they had these special vents cut out of the side to allow for a whirling, whizzing sound to be produced when the lightsaber was swung around. They were first released for The Empire Strikes Back in 1981 in red and yellow. Now, I'm not sure why they went with yellow for this one, as it had already been established in the original Star Wars that Luke's lightsaber was blue. In 1983, this would be corrected for Return of the Jedi with the release of Luke's green lightsaber. Not this exact one in my hands, but this was the first lightsaber that I ever got when I was 6 years old. And then in 1985, we got this, the Kenner Droids lightsaber. This lightsaber was released to accompany the Droids cartoon, which was kinda odd because no lightsabers ever appeared in that cartoon anywhere. This lightsaber was the first attempt at a self-igniting lightsaber toy, as it came with a spring-action blade. Unfortunately, the blade was only about as long as the handle. It was released in both red and green, and as you can see, I have the green version, and this piece is so rare that it is the crown jewel of my collection. This is the only lightsaber that I've actually gone as far as to have graded. The next decade would be a dark time for all Star Wars toys. It wouldn't be until the release of the special editions in 1996 that we would finally get these. The Power of the Force Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker electronic lightsabers. I'm sure a few of you remember having these. These were two of the most widely produced lightsabers ever. 3 years later, everything changed. 1999 would give us the release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Not only would The Phantom Menace give us the first ever on-screen double-bladed lightsaber, but for the first time ever, fully retractable blades. With the release of the Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi toy lightsabers from Ruby's Costume Company. For the first time ever, due to the lack of electrical components for sound, we had fully retractable lightsabers. The Obi-Wan Kenobi version of these lightsabers is still one of my all-time favorite lightsaber toys. The Darth Maul actually came with locks to keep the blades from falling out. So you had the choice to ignite only one side, or two. Hasbro would then follow suit with the release of electronic versions of the same three characters. 3 years later, after the release of Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, all bets were off. Not only would we see from both Hasbro and Ruby's more elaborate styled lightsabers and more varied characters, we would see the explosion of build-your-own lightsaber kits both at home, in stores, and at Disney parks. And then the world would witness the rise of the replica. In 2002, Master Replica would release the Anakin Skywalker Force FX lightsaber replica. This is the Mace Windu Master Replica. Part of a line that would lead to the Signature Series. This is the Kit Fisto Signature Series. And the Black Series. This is the Kylo Ren Black Series. As well, we would see the custom creations of homegrown sabersmiths the world over. From Gacelit to the Neo or Xeno Pixel. In 2012, these two technologies would combine to create the ultimate Force FX lightsaber toys, which were the basis for today's Disney's FX lightsabers. The Disney purchase of Star Wars would continue the legacy of the toy lightsaber, not only in the expansion of the build-your-own lightsaber parts lines, but literally with its legacy line of lightsaber replicas. And nowadays, of course, you can even travel all the way to Galaxy's Edge and visit Savvy's workshop to build your very own lightsaber. So there you go. There's a brief history of the toy lightsaber. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and sticking around for future installments where we will focus much more closely on individual pieces from my collection and the characters and lore behind them. Again, my name is J.M. Clark for An Elegant Weapon. May the Force be with you.